The faster we're falling, the sharks are coming to consume some stupid fucks. Scout Taylor, Compton, Stewart, Townsend, and Richard Dreyfuss, what were they doing in this tripe? Well, maybe we're just trying too hard, and we need to throw this movie on a fucking barge. 'Cause it's in too deep, and we're trying to keep all the blood in our legs before being pulled under. We're just in too deep, and we're trying to keep all the blood in our legs before being pulled under once again. In Too Deep was directed and produced by Christian Sesma, who's done VOD action movies, staying busy, always a good thing. This is also an alleged shark movie. In the sense there are sharks, and Richard Dreyfuss in the only shark movie he has ever been in his entire career. Shut up, don't question me. If you don't get the joke, then really just get the fuck out of here and go watch a goddamn good shark movie. This isn't as bad as Something in the Water or that French movie Under Paris that was really, really bad. Like, really apocalyptically bad. But this is also allegedly written by Chad Law. Really, the guy just needs to have a business practice on the side. That would just be absolutely hilarious. Like Harvey Birdman, attorney at Chad Law. And Josh Ridgway. I love seeing him at a Defy wrestling show. Wait, that was Chris Ridgway. My mistake. So, why is Scout Taylor Compton in movies like this? Because she actually has talent. I don't understand why she's in so many movies like this. Richard Dreyfuss. This allegedly cost $3 million, and I would imagine a sizable chunk of that was probably sent to Richard Dreyfuss to say, please lend your credibility to this movie. That, look, once again, the movie's inoffensive at the end of the day, but it's not any fucking good. I'm sorry, this movie is fucking abysmal. It's on Hulu if you have a Hulu subscription, by the way. John Seda plays Jordan, who leads a band of pirates. And by a band, I mean like 3 fucking people. They're so generic, I honestly forgot what their names are. I think one was named Apache. He's a bald guy. And also Callum McGowan, not Charlie McGowan. We are not going back to the Georgia Championship Wrestling or Crockett days for professional wrestling fans. Everybody else is mind-numbingly confused by that. So we have Greg, we have Cassidy. Cassidy, played by Scout Taylor Compton, the incredibly attractive and gifted Scout Taylor Compton, who watched her dad get killed by a shark when she was young. We see that in the opening. That's haunted her. And throughout the movie, we see Cassidy, Greg, and a couple people. One named Damon Benz, but played by Stuart Townsend, who was in Queen of the Damned and the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. I mean, I'm not saying Stuart Townsend was ever, like, going to be, like, the absolute pinnacle of success, but what happened? Like, what the fuck? What happened? Why? Like, I know it's a way to have money, and it's a way to maybe get your name out there, but really? In a movie like this? It was probably an easy shoot. I can't imagine this thing took more than like 3 weeks to shoot. But basically, some pirates want gold. Well, actually, they want some contraband that has sunk down to seemingly just a few feet in the ocean, because it doesn't seem like the cage goes down that goddamn far. And these pirates get on this boat full of tourists. By full of tourists, I mean there are literally 6 people. Stuart Townsend, a man named Kai that refuses to sweep the leg, disappointed. Cassidy, Greg, as well as Itzara and Pierre. There are 2 French people, I believe. And yeah, there you go. Basically, there are a few sharks in it. There are more sharks in this than there were in Something in the Water. I will say that much. At least the sharks in this. I mean, there are great whites, which Richard Dreyfuss absolutely knows nothing about. Knows nothing about the climate, and patterns changing and everything. Knows nothing about that. I don't know why anybody would think that Richard Dreyfuss knows anything about sharks or movies about sharks. So basically, this really doesn't do anything except have people act like idiots. People get attacked by sharks, and that's pretty much your lot right there. People act badly, even though there are some talented people in this cast, and yeah. This movie is a plodding, like 80-something minutes, and also there is a PSA by Richard Dreyfuss about shark conservation, which, to be perfectly honest, we really should save the sharks and make sure that we help the environment. But to add it to this movie? Whatever. I'm going to get into spoilers. There's not really much to spoil, but I'm going to just have a little fun with this. On Hulu, 3, 2, 1, spoilers. So there you go. Cassidy sees her dad die, as I said. 50% of this movie is fucking flashbacks. Maybe not 50, but probably 49.5% of this movie is flashbacks. And I understand what they're trying to do. Overcome trauma and, build up and save people. You didn't think that you had the strength to do that. That would be fine, but in this fucking movie, that really had no right to fucking exist? Because it doesn't. It's fucking atrocious. This movie it's a goddamn atrocity. God, shark conservation should be the furthest thing from anyone's mind, to help fund this goddamn thing. Like, there are more flashbacks in this than a coma patient seeing the light and then being pulled back. More flashbacks than Memento. More flashbacks than any movie that, is just built around flashbacks. I mean, I tried to come up with a trifecta there and I failed. Whole point is this movie does not have any cohesive narrative, or at least good narrative. And by the way, Richard Dreyfuss' name's Seamus because it's a shameful thing, Lobster Head. At one point, he literally phones in his role. Greg and Benz know each other. You would have thought that maybe Greg would have been in on it, Benz would have been in on it. No. There is one line in this. Be careful, be more careful than just being careful. That is top-notch dialogue there. Good job. Look, I don't want to pick on people because I will never make a movie and I have no intention of ever making a movie, but this is atrocious. Absolutely fucking atrocious, and it needs to be called atrocious. And movies like this need to be called out. Is it one of the worst movies of the year? I mean, from a production standpoint, I've seen worse. From an acting standpoint, it's pretty bad. I've seen so many bad horror movies already, though, that horror, action, whatever the fuck, that I don't even think this will crack the top 15. That's just how dire of a year it has been so far. Because I'm up to about 50 horror movies that I've seen among about 120 movies that I've seen so far. But yeah, Cassidy is nervous about doing the shark cage diving, but then when the pirates show up, by the way, Jordan leads his pirates to stop some other pirates or people on a fishing boat or something. Everybody has guns, and they just do some shooting. The CGI is terrible. Really terrible. But then again, $3 million budget. I mean, I'm not really that surprised. And, well, there are some, they're off this, coast, they're off this coast, but maybe the idea is they can get the French to help. Get the French to help. Actually, the French would probably have, put the kibosh on this and said, please, go make this movie literally anywhere else, please, for the love of God. So, Jordan is our villain. He was a former Navy SEAL. He is just doing this because things got tough, I guess. So, the character Pierre dies because he gets his arm chomped off. I mean, we kind of see it, we kind of don't, because A, they can't really afford to show all that much, and B, also the acting is rather goddamn dog shit because the dialogue and story are bullshit and whatnot. So, Cassidy says, well, I'm a marine biologist. Evidently, the ocean is her field. It's actually water, but whatever, it's semantics. And she decides to go diving to get the contraband to save everybody. Too late for Pierre, but whatever. These flashbacks, I noted at least 10 times on my notes, these flashbacks are ridiculous. And again, sprinkling a few throughout the movie would be fine. But they at least go to that well 9 times in this. I mean, possibly more. I honestly lost track. I should have done a flashback counter, but I refuse to ever watch this movie ever again. So, during a brief scuffle, Kai gets shot at one point, but also Greg, seemingly shoved over the side, after Cassidy gets most of the contraband, but one thing gets damaged. And then one of the hoodlums gets killed, but Greg seemingly dies, except he doesn't. He swims to the boat that the other pirate people were on, and he radios for help. The Coast Guard shows up. Jordan and his crew just shoot up the Coast Guard. So, yeah, if you ever manage to escape that, that's going to be really goddamn hard to explain. This is revoltingly terrible, is what I kept noting. And, yeah, Kai ends up dying because, well, Jordan ends up shooting him a whole bunch. This is putrid. Jordan gets, Jordan at one point, shoots somebody, shoots at somebody else. More actions going on. This Itzara girl, the one that Pierre was dating, gets killed. No offense to the actress, but you might want to go pick other movies, pick dramas. Maybe that'll work, because I don't necessarily think action's all that great for her. But then again, I don't think anybody could have fucking saved this movie, so now I'd regret it, except I don't, because I'm kind of being mean-spirited about this. And more flashbacks. I'm like, good God, she has this flashback while she's underwater, and she takes her mouthpiece out, and he says, well, you know, you gotta what the fuck did he say? He said something about, that basically, you know, you gotta face your fears, you gotta face the monster head on, that kind of stuff, and does, and the shark just goes by her, because I guess that's all they could afford for the CGI. Jordan gets in a fight with one of the goon. I think the only remaining goon that's alive, the guy that's long hair that actually kind of looks like Kai, just less tan. And then gets in a fight with Greg gets in a fight with Jordan. That's what I'm trying to say. The boyfriend gets in a fight and then ends up not being able to shoot him. But then Cassidy gets a gun and on the deck and shoots Jordan. They push him over the side. He gets killed. And, yeah, then Richard Dreyfuss says a PSA. What do you want? What the fuck does anybody want from me? I mean, what would be... This is the kind of stuff that just... It exists just to be content to be consumed. I mean, I don't think anybody expected high-class entertainment when they made this, but it's just so terrible. It's just so bad. Into the Deep gets an F. So, agree, disagree, what I said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter, Letterboxd, Blue Sky handles in the description. I'm John Rittland, and until we meet again, happy trails to you.